Good morning, everyone. I wish you a happy Friday, a good Friday. Hope you are well. I hope that there's not too much background noise. Of course, as soon as I started recording, lawnmowers and trimmers started going up. But things are just gorgeous at church this morning, and maybe you can see the beautiful purple. I believe I'm not sure if it's salvia or what it is, but so what I want to share with you this morning is a couple of weeks ago, I was listening, actually engaging in a webinar, and near the end of the webinar, the moderator asked the panelists, give us something hopeful to leave on. Give us some hope. What are you hopeful about? And for some reason, I couldn't understand why at the time I was so annoyed by that question. And I kind of chuckled to myself, and I was like, "What do you have? What do you have against hope, Jeremy?" And I kind of chuckled at myself, but I was really annoyed by the question. And then shortly thereafter, I listened to a podcast, an interview that was done. It was actually a conversation between two individuals talking about their appreciation and respect for a book called When Things Fall Apart by Pema Chodron, a pretty prominent Buddhist thinker here in the United States who taught at Naropa University in Boulder for quite a long time. And as they were talking about this book, When Things Fall Apart, and I think that's a great title, Things Do Fall Apart, as we've seen recently, Pema was arguing that we should abandon hope. It was basically the crux of what she said, that when things start falling apart, abandon hope. And what she means by that, at least my interpretation, is that we need to not too easily go into that bumper sticker hope, that feel-good concept of everything's going to be all right. And instead, she was arguing that we need to be aware and present to the pain and suffering in our world, and to move more deeply into that, and that when we really consider the suffering of others, the pain of others, the pain of the moment, that is almost as close as we can start to get to coming together as a people. That when we are at least open to trying to understand others' pain, to having empathy, to being with others in their pain and suffering, we start learning about each other in a different way, and learning about where we share hopes and desires and dreams, and where we share foibles and fumbles, and just where we share struggles. And so that kind of helped me understand why I was so upset by the moderator's question. Give us something hopeful. Leave us with some hope. And sorry about the airplane. It's so what I was thinking is that we are so quickly rushing during this time of pandemic, and not resting enough, I think, and really fully honoring the pain of all those who have been impacted by the coronavirus, and the 100,000 plus lives that have been lost. I also think we really need to not, in our moment where we see protests and action for the movement for Black lives, to not too quickly rush to solutions. What do we do? How do we handle this? We need to get there, and we will get there. But I think we need to really listen to the pain, understand the suffering of Black Americans, the pain of Black Americans, the challenges that they face, in order to just be more fully present and aware, so we can move eventually to that solution place. So I think our faith tradition also has something to say about this. Jesus on the cross says, God, please take this cup from me, this suffering that he was experiencing. And then a breath or two later, he says, not my will, Lord, but yours. And I think what Jesus was in part saying in that moment is he was then finally able to understand human pain and suffering, And so I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to indicate that God is causing suffering, but I think Jesus was saying he understood in that moment what it means to be human, fully human. And so I guess the last thought I will leave with you all is, while we do our best to understand the pain, live in this moment, not rush past the pain and the suffering that so many are experiencing right now, we have to be careful not to let our emotions paralyze us. Yes, we need to feel it deeply in our souls and our hearts and our guts, but we also cannot allow our emotions to paralyze us so that we don't find ways to actually healthfully understand and address that pain. And so I encourage us, as we try to understand the pain and not rush past this moment into some type of bumper sticker type of hope, that we also don't allow ourselves to become paralyzed. Take the time that you need to breathe and rest and do some self-care at the same time that you are trying to understand the pain and suffering of others. And let's just keep this in mind as we move through these next days. Yes, we do have to find solutions. We do have to find ways to move forward. But I also don't want us to too quickly rush past this moment and lose the opportunity to understand the suffering of humanity around us. So that's my thought for today. I wish you all a good Friday.